Wolves get a stressful 1-point win on the road against a New Orleans team who is now 6-7. They were playing on the second night of a back-to-back, very depleted again. No Zion again, no McCollum, no Trey Murphy III, no Jose Alvarado. So similar to the last time we played the Pelicans when we blew them out at home, except that now they have Herb Jones back, and they were looking a lot better in this game. And the Timberwolves started out pretty flat, and overall, I felt like we didn't really deserve to win this game, but we had a chance at the end, and we took care of business on a Karl Anthony Towns game winner. There's not a ton of positives to talk about this game, but he was the shining one of this game. I think that's 5 straight incredible offensive games out of Karl Anthony Towns. Only misses 1 shot, 9 assists in this one on the game winner. He's very disciplined, does a left-hand floater, banks it in, and is disciplined enough to not get baited into a charge as JRE was set up trying to take one. And so he was spectacular. Anthony Edwards was fouled out by the time that we had that game-winning opportunity. So Cat was enormous in this game. New Orleans Pelicans have a very strong first quarter yet again. They have 35 in this one. I say yet again because that's 5 straight games that the Timberwolves have trailed after the first quarter, and that's 4 straight where they have given up 30-plus points in that first quarter. And so our status of the number 1 defense in the NBA don't have that title anymore. And we've kind of been regressing a bit here. And especially the first quarter is where a lot of that is getting slashed. And a primary thing that's really hurting our defense is, one, the foul frequency of significant players, namely Jaden McDaniels, although he would only have 3 in this game, and that wasn't his problem. But Anthony Edwards picked up early fouls and was limited in his playing time for that. He had his 3rd foul early in the second quarter that he wasn't really even thinking that he had that many. A lot of kind of unnecessary off-ball reaches that both Ant and Cat would pick up in this game. And so our stars can't be on the court. Good defenders are constantly going out of the game in these last several because of fouls. And then the other big bugaboo is offensive rebounding. We're giving up a lot of them. We would get out-rebounded in this game by 7. I thought that the Pelicans' big men were just a lot more physical than ours. Like Valanciunas and even Zeller off the bench were kind of bodying our squad for a bit there. And additionally, our guards and forwards need to step up on the rebounding. Jaden McDaniels, only 2 rebounds in this game, which is becoming way too frequent for him, those low numbers. Anthony Edwards, not a strong rebounding game with just 3, although the minutes were toned back for him as well. And we need people to gang rebound because it's getting ugly out there how many we're giving up. It's kind of double digits most nights recently. I want to shout out Nickeil Alexander-Walker yet again. He's had another great game in a stretch of about 5 or so, and he's picking up the offense a little bit while also having unbelievably active hands, and it's just everywhere. And he has such great defensive instincts too, where someone gets beat on a back cut, he's there to help out, and he is just so intuitive off ball. It's wonderful to watch, and it's great to see him stepping up off the bench because Shake Milton has yet to do so. Just kind of seems uncomfortable out there. And Jordan McLaughlin is also out for another 3+ weeks, I believe. So he's not an option that we have to go to. Let's talk about another significant bench player of Naz Reid. He would have a weak game in this one. Made his first 2 threes and then was pretty flat after that. But something that was interesting, New Orleans was double-teaming him most of the game after those first 2 threes. And that's not something that happens to Naz frequently. But I think we might start to see it a lot. It makes sense to me because he is an incredible one-on-one player. He's great bullying people to the rim and finishing close by, has a wonderful hook shot, and he has yet to prove himself as a passer in those situations. So I would look to a lot of teams starting to do that, and we have to see how Naz responds to that going forward too, because the people he's going to be kicking out to on that second unit are Kyle Anderson, who is almost completely unwilling to shoot threes in this year, despite shooting almost 40% last year. I'm guessing he only has like 4 or 5 attempts on the season. And I also mentioned Shake Milton with his struggles. He really hasn't found his jump shot for this team. And when he makes them, it's more kind of in the close mid-range. And it was pretty wild for us to pull out this win. We were trailing just about the entire game, often by double digits. couldn't really get things going. A lot of time of our stars sitting on the bench. Just about that entire third quarter, it felt that Cat and Ant were on the bench with foul trouble. And then something that's almost always a big benefit for the Wolves is the Mike Conley turnover margin, which was bad in this one. He had 3 turnovers, but all of them led to points in transition for the Pelicans, and usually it's that he gives us a big advantage in taking care of the ball and then gaining us possessions, and it wasn't the case tonight. Where the Wolves were finally able to make up some ground and make this a close game again was in the fourth, and it was through a zone defense out of the Timberwolves. So great when we go into that. I'm really loving it. We have so much length, especially when you got like Jaden McDaniels at the top of the zone. That just provides so many problems and makes almost every perimeter shot be contested by Jaden, which is a nightmare for any NBA player, including Brandon Ingram, who had missed the game-winning shot, contested by Jaden. Got to throw that one out there too, although it's a makeable BI shot, but good contest. But the Wolves' execution was actually solid to close this game for the most part, outside of some bad fouls, and Rudy Gobert would force a foul on a rebound with about 30 seconds left as the game was tied. Rudy was great shooting from free throws in this game, 7 of 10 overall. Problem was, 2 of those misses were his final 2 shots from the line that could have given us a lead, and so he kind of choked in a pressure moment there. Then, coming down the court, Anthony Edwards fouls out on getting too aggressive on BI, putting him at the line. Thankfully, he misses 1 shot. That's the reason that we win this game instead of it going into overtime. 10 seconds left, we get Karl Anthony Towns open at the top of the key, Dyson Daniels on him, able to elevate, get the shot up, get the win. Felt like this was just kind of a 50-50 through the rest of the end of this game. We had a big talent advantage going in tonight. They were also on the second night of a back-to-back. Probably shouldn't have been this close, but with how the game played out, it felt like we should have just lost that one. I don't love that game, but finding a way to win it is still something to note. Also noteworthy that our defense has not looked the same overall, but when it really came down to it and we needed stops, it looked a lot better. There's some shakiness, but thankfully our next game on Monday is at home against the Knicks, who are actually streaking right now. I think they've won 6 straight. However, I think getting back in home is going to really help stabilize this team, and we've got a stretch of a couple here, so hopefully we calm down, because last 3 games have not been pretty at all, but we still got 2 wins out of them. We're sitting at 9-3. We finished a long road stretch. So, looking pretty good.